Good afternoon. We're here with Karen Murphy Clark, and we are going to communicate about some of the experiences she's had with transformations, and hopefully it will help anybody that might be interested or just general education here. So, welcome.
Thank you. I started with transformations 4 years ago, and lost the weight I wanted, and then
I was going to say you never looked like you needed us.
I know. I mean, if you saw me before, you would. But it jumped me into being very physically active. So now I run half marathons. Now I do HIIT workouts, 5 times a week. I do a modified CrossFit, So now I'm looking at the aspect of continuing those products, but then now I'm looking at another, okay, so what helps for people who are very physically active,
right,
building those muscles. So where can, I always look to transformations and go, oh, well, maybe that's the next jump off for them,
right,
is to do something for the people who are at their point and they want to, like BCAAs are a good product for people.
BCA.
It's a branched chain amino acid.
Oh, okay.
Which helps in muscle recovery.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
That type of thing. So I'm like thinking, there's so many places that you guys could go.
There's so many. Right now, the next product we're bringing down the pipe is CoQ10.
Okay.
And then what I would like to do is introduce a new product every 4 months.
Okay.
Because it took us 2 years to get the probiotics. You don't realize, but the respectable labs in the U.S., there's probably maybe 5 that from a culture standpoint has a quality enough product to where it survives A, the shipment, and not to mention B, the quality control.
Well, and consumers don't understand what's a great product versus a not so great product. And so they see all these commercials and they're like, oh, that's the next best thing, I'm going to run out and go do that. Just because that manufacturer has the money to throw it out there in your face every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It may not be great.
Yeah.
No. So to understand the science behind it and the health products and the health benefits to everything, you've got to understand how that all works.
Yeah, it's crazy. True story. Stony Brooks, and we actually we had Stony here. What was it, Matt? Maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, somewhere like that. He's the manufacturer out of Utah that we use. And,
Okay.
And this company is Desert Stream. He's out of Nephi.
Okay.
He's a good manufacturing, I forget what all it is, but he's FDA inspected. So a group came to him and said, hey, we want you to do Garcinia cambogia. We want you to do it for, I forget what it was, like $1.90 or $2.50 a bottle.
Okay.
And we want you to do 45,000 bottles, and we're going to, it's going to be an infomercial type thing, and we're going to turn and burn. And he looked at him, he said, well, but if you put a quality product that you're saying that's in here, the cost of the product
is going
to exceed that, not to mention the bottling, Well, long story short, they didn't go with him. They went with a company out of China.
Okay.
And of course, they are a lot of the infomercial. Now, that being said, I'm not saying all infomercials are bad.
Right.
I'm just saying people absolutely should be aware. Unfortunately, we believe what's on TV a lot of the time. And I've learned a great lesson over the years. And it's
I have too, because I love infomercials.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for that. I'm a sucker too. So, but immediately what I do is that I'll find it and then I'll go start looking for the reviews on it, and I'll go start listening about what's great, what's bad, and if I see too many negatives or this or that, I just put it to the side. When I started, I lost half the weight I was expecting. Well, actually, the weight I lost initially was I thought where I wanted to be, and then my body just kept, it got to its set point, which was lower than that. But when I lost half of the weight that I lost, my daughter was working out with a trainer, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll, I need to do something with this. I can physically do stuff now since I've dropped that weight. And so I gave him like 1 day a week, and I was so, I hadn't done anything in years and years and years. And so then he's like, you've got to come more than once a week, otherwise you'll just keep being sore and you won't get any progress. So then it started from every other day to every day. So now I'm like 5 days a week and, stuff on the weekends or whatever. So, and it's just progressed from there. The running, because I used to, I ran cross country in high school, was able to run again. It was great.
How much weight did you lose?
35 pounds.
Okay, that's significant.
Yeah. Well, I'm only 4'11", so 135 pounds is a lot on my frame.
Yeah, it's like 35 softballs that you're carrying.
Yep. So I dropped down to about 100. Right now I'm carrying about 102, but it's muscle now that I put on, so it's not a big, and I like it, so it's fine.
No, totally get it. That's too funny. Now, is your husband, has he changed his lifestyle, or was he
A little
kinda
bit,
like
yeah. And now he's starting to get to the point. He's had a couple ACL surgeries, and he just had a full knee replacement in February, and it's made him inactive, and he's put on a lot of weight. He's a big guy. He's 6'6", and he's like 320. So he wants to get back down to like the 260, 270 range.
course.
So I keep talking to him about doing this, you know. So, and his biggest thing is, you know, he's a big guy. He thinks he needs to eat a lot. So I'm looking at transformation because I know it's a great program. It worked for me. He'll get the appetite suppressants will help, you know, with the brain and the body. And, you know, they'll just walk him through the whole program. And it taught me how to eat because I was horrible at it. And it just changed everything that I do now and how I look at food and how it's an enjoyment now. And now I eat for fuel more than I eat for, you know, but when I have something, I just take my carb inhibitor and off I go. And, you know, I have a wedding or something and, you know, it's there. So I don't have to worry
Have
about it.
you gone to our Facebook page and looked at the recipe swaps?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so I use some of those, and then I incorporate some of my own, and yeah, it's just.
If you have any good ones, share.
I do. I have like green and yellow and red pepper nachos.
Okay.
So you use those instead of the nacho chips, and whatever nacho toppings you put on top, that you
Okay.
use those for the chip. It's crispy, it's crunchy, and it's good for you. And you can eat almost as many as you want.
Reach out. Let us
Yeah,
know
exactly.
on that because anything that you come across. I mean, I'm the guinea pig, clearly most of the time. So I love now green pepper. I could do without red
Yeah,
and yellow.
red
I'm
and
good.
yellow, yeah, absolutely. But it's crunchy and it's solid, and so it'll hold the toppings.
Yeah.
So then you just put the Greek yogurt on it instead of the sour cream.
Sour cream. Yeah, that's a
Yep.
great idea.
And then I like to make it's a few ingredient pancakes, but it's just a banana, a half a cup of rolled oats, a quarter of a cup of applesauce, and just, you know, whatever cinnamon and whatnot, and you blend that all up in like a magic bullet or whatnot, and you can make pancakes out of it. Oh, it's an egg too to hold it together.
I think we did that.
yeah.
I think that was on our. But please
Yes,
reach out.
absolutely.
Reach
And
out
I
to
love
both of
eating those in the morning, so.
Okay.
So
Cool.
there's just a lot of different things that I've learned to, you know, low carb or no carb and whatnot, just on days that I feel like I've overdone it or whatnot.
Of course. It's always
The
like
weekends
that.
are the worst for me because, you know,
Yeah.
I go out with my husband and things like that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
you
we
know,
always do.
get right back on the horse on Monday.
I got you.
So.
I got you. And by the way, thank you for attending the
Oh, the what it was, the panel that we
yes,
had.
the God, what was
The focus group. That's what it was. Exactly.
Good Lord, the focus group. Because
yes.
it was funny because you inspired so many people to reach out and check into other products, and we do need to get better at educating people through the process, but we don't want to be pushy at the same breath.
Right.
So that's why we do kind of what we do. But it was so funny because Kate said, "Oh yeah, so many people were like, oh my God, well, what about this and what about this?" And apparently you were the
Yeah, I was like, I've tried that. Let me tell you about this. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there hasn't been not one product I've tried that I didn't like. So, and so to rank them as my favorite, they're all my favorite because I love the results of everything.
Yeah.
You know, so because I did all the naturals to lose my weight because my mother had breast cancer.
Okay.
And so the ACG wasn't recommended.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm kind of glad I went that route because one, I got to eat a little bit more.
Yeah.
And two, it didn't feel like, I don't know, it was a slower, the weight came off a little slower, but it's been 4 years later and I still maintain the weight loss because of what I've learned and the products that I use. So for me, I
Lifestyle.
always promote the naturals anyways. You know, people, I find that the people who do the other side of it, they get great results very quickly, but then they stop coming. And I don't come as much as I used to transformations, but I do come in, you know, a couple times, you know, every couple months or whatnot. Life got busy this past summer with my daughter graduating and whatnot. So now I'm like, okay, now my husband's getting into it, so I'm going to start getting him into it, and then I'll start coming back more regularly because I miss my lipotropic. And
Well, you know, listen, but our whole goal is designed to educate
Exactly.
and really get you out of the process where most of the companies that are out there, they want to hook you and they want to get you
Right.
forever. Yes, I want to hook you for a long time from the nutraceutical side.
Right.
But, you know, really from the weight loss side,
No,
we want you to be in and out.
exactly.
And just to let you know, the HCG for men, and in a couple, it is so bad for the woman because men tend to lose a lot quicker.
Correct.
So I'm sure that's caused an argument once or twice.
Oh, I'm sure. So I'm kind of glad I went through it first.
Yeah,
I've lost
yeah,
my
yeah.
weight, so I don't have to worry about that part of it.
Yeah, but
I'd really like to get him in there because the best part about it was the support. Because I was there for 3 hours, my first initial meeting, just because of all the medical aspect of it, and then talking to me about the program, going over all the products, just making sure I understood everything, the meal plan, the meal plans and the exchanges, and your little food diary and tracking your water, and then just every time that I would come back and every week that I would weigh in, it was just the support, and they know you by face and name when you come in, and they treat you well, and I haven't had a bad experience once, so I'm gonna hopefully get my husband into it and get doing it. So
well, when he's ready, I
yeah,
found
he's
that.
getting there because he just quit smoking and he gained a little bit more weight because he quit smoking, and so now he's like, I've got to do something with this because now his knee is better. Now he wants to get physically active, and the weight's kind of holding him back a little bit.
Yeah, for every pound that you're overweight, that adds 4 to 10 pounds of pressure on your knees.
Right, and he's got a bad back too. So and he knows that his orthopedic has told him you need to drop some weight. You'll feel better.
Yeah, we just talked to a gentleman yesterday that had lost, I think, 37 pounds in 10 weeks, and he said his back is night and day difference.
Yes.
So yeah,
that's what I hope for him too.
Oh yeah.
And he's there. He's about there. I give him another week or two, and he's ready to go.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, he's been talking. We've been going through this cycle with him probably for about a year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
once he's ready, it's and I'm not going to try to put words in your mouth because I would like for you to kind of walk me through the start and just what your memory is through the process and stuff like that. But I find that when people are ready and they realize that this isn't a kiss of death, it's actually more just kind of a lifestyle change, and I also find that people that use the medication side of it, it's a great tool.
It is.
But if you rely on that and then you go back to your old habits, you're going to gain the weight back.
Exactly.
I can promise you that.
Exactly.
So it's let me educate you on how to do lifestyle, and if you can't take that education, really you'll never be able to help yourself. I mean, and it's more accountability than it is process, because I know I can get the weight off of you.
Right.
Keeping it off
is the key. So for me, I had tried years before I had actually become successful in losing the weight, lose 10 pounds here or there and get it back. And it got to be April of 2012, and I had my birthday party. I saw pictures of myself, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, that is not. I never had been that heavy my whole life, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And so there was someone I knew, acquaintance that I had met, who said, "Oh, let me tell you about transformations." So she went through the whole process. She's like, "It's great. I've lost this," because I had watched her over a couple of weeks drop some weight, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm just struggling. I'm like, I know my eating habits are bad. My whole lifestyle is bad. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was, eating the wrong things, and then too much of things, stress eating, just boredom eating, whatever it was, no activity whatsoever. I sat behind a desk all day. So she started explaining to me, "Oh, transformations, you got to go there. You'll love it. This is this. So I'm like, okay. So I picked up the phone and I made the phone call, and scheduled my appointment and came in, did the 3-hour, initial assessment. And the thing that struck me the most is that the way they structured the diet, that was the most important to me, because I wanted something that I was going to be able to maintain. Because I was not, once I started this, I was paying for it. I wanted to have results, but I didn't want it to gain it all back like I had in the past.
Sure.
Because I knew I had to make some serious changes. I was getting older. I just needed to make some changes. So it set things up where it was so easy for me to just keep that going after the fact, where I didn't have to think about it. I knew that I had to have a complex carb, a fruit, and a dairy in the morning, and I knew I had to have this, and so for me, I could go anywhere and do this diet, and I didn't have to worry about it. And so that was the best part about it, because it did facilitate that lifestyle change that I was looking for. So that was the first thing that, so that was what got me there. And so then I started having immediate results. And because I'm smaller, my weight loss like the first week I lost 4 pounds. And then after that, it was 1 to 2 every week.
Well, that's
and it
significant,
just
though.
kept going.
Yeah.
And I never plateaued because, and I think the reason I didn't plateau is because for the second phase of that, you double your calories, you shock your body, you do these things, you follow the plan. And I was, my husband used to laugh at me because I had all my pills set up in boxes and I had the times when they were supposed to go, my reminders on my phone. And I would take them diligently when I was supposed to and make sure I didn't cheat and, whatever. And he's like, you're going to just go right back to doing it. I'm like, and he laughs at me. He's like, you still don't do the things you used to do. I'll treat myself every once in a while. I'll have ice
As you
cream or
should.
whatever, but I immediately, the new week starts and I get right back on my normal schedule and away I go. So, but that was how it
Now,
all happened.
what products? I know you went strictly nutraceuticals.
So when
what
I
did you start
started,
with?
I started with the appetite suppressants, and then I had the carb inhibitor, the ME. I didn't start the pycnogenol till later, but I think those were the main, and then the accelerator. I think that those were the main ones that I started with.
Okay, so you started with the 4 products.
With the 4 products.
Okay.
And then as I got through it, they introduced me to the lipotropic, which tremendous results with
Right.
that. It helped more with the fat burn and the energy was great. And I think that those were the main products I stayed on. The chromium, that was the other one, which I love the chromium. And then the multivitamin and the calcium I was on for a while too. So those were the main stable products that I had. And then after, I would think it was after the first phase, I got off the appetite suppressants because I didn't need them anymore. And then I just stayed with the carb inhibitor and the accelerator and the ME.
As
and
needed, kind
As
of.
needed,
Sure.
Oh, I did that probably for a few years. It was one of those things that was my security blanket, and I was afraid to get off them because I was afraid I was going to fall back. But surprisingly enough, when I did wean myself off them, I didn't have any.
Well, no, because your metabolic rate's at a good rate.
Right.
You developed a great lifestyle change, so that works. So when did we talk you into or educate you into the pycnogenol? When did
That was
step in?
probably halfway through.
Okay.
Because what I was finding was that, I'm having the skin and these things are kind of wrinkly and a little saggy. And
Well, you lose a little bit.
yeah,
you
and
lose some
the
weight.
elasticity, of course, being older. And so the girls that they were like, oh, you've got to try this. Just try it and see how you like it. And so, I started with a little bit higher dose just because they're like, you need to get in your system and whatnot.
Sure.
But then you can find, but you need to, you'll know what's the appropriate amount for you to take. And you'll just know. And so I started, I think, like at 5, and then I went to 2, and then, so for me, the magic number is 4.
Okay.
So 4 pills. And I think within a week, huge difference.
Really?
Yeah, huge difference. Skin looked better. People were going, Karen, what are you doing? You look so young now. You look like 10 years younger. So, and part of that was the weight loss too, but it was that pycnogenol was like everything just like, my skin just changed and everything just, I felt great. And so the girls just know, they know when they come in and they see me and they're like, oh, you've got to, let me tell you about this, think about it, and then let me know, and I'll come out and I'm like, okay, give me a bottle of the probiotic. So every time there's a new product and I come in, the girls are always really good about going, you need to think about this, or why don't you try this, or.
Now, with you working out, and I listen, you are a spokesperson for us without even knowing that you're a spokesperson for us, but when did you notice anything joint-wise with the pycnogenol?
Yes.
Because I know you focused on the skin.
Well, and this is the other thing. I have Crohn's disease, which is an inflammatory bowel disease, which, because it doesn't let you absorb all the nutrients in your body because of the issues going on with your intestine at every given time, I would have joint problems. I don't have joint problems anymore. Like I said, I'm doing box jumps, and I'm jumping on boxes that are this high, and I run all sorts of terrains, and I have no joint problems whatsoever.
Good for you.
So.
And the probiotics.
Probiotics helps my Crohn's. It does. It
yeah.
keeps it everything healthy in there, so I don't have to worry about it.
That's funny you say that. 9 years ago, I had 2 feet taken out,
Okay.
and I've been drug-free, disease-free since then.
I've had my Crohn's since I was 17. I'm now 48.
Ooh.
I've only had 1 surgery.
Okay.
And mine is what they call atypical because I don't have any symptoms unless there's a problem. So I'll have the occasional flares, but I haven't had any hospitalizations since 1992.
Okay. Okay.
So
you
for
managed
me,
it.
yes, I manage it very well.
Are you-
And I only take probiotics.
Okay.
I am on no medications whatsoever at
Good
this
for
point.
you. I know it's a tough disease.
It is. And when I was younger, my Crohn's was through all of my intestine, and now it's only in a small part of it. So the body can heal itself if you eat the right foods, if you do the right things. I was noticing before I lost the weight and got my lifestyle into order, I was having many more flares than I did after.
Sure.
I have them maybe once every 18 months now.
Really?
Maybe. And it's usually stress induced.
Yeah.
So, because we can't avoid it. But for me, that's my trigger is stress.
Okay. Have you
So-
done green juice by chance?
I haven't tried that.
Okay. We'll
We'll talk about that.
yeah we'll get to that. I'll show you some tricks
Okay.
that so you don't have to juice every single day. It just becomes tedious.
Yes.
But I green juice, probiotic, pecnogenol, and
Yep.
vitamins.
Yep.
I mean,
And that's
my
what I do
regimen.
mostly. That's my, regimen. So I try to keep, and like I said, I always have a bottle of carb inhibitor in my,
Of course.
because if I go on vacation, because I want to enjoy myself. I don't
Yeah.
want to,
From what you know about our product,
Mm-hmm.
before you started the program, how would you explain or entice somebody to come in?
I would tell them that transformations is exactly what that means. It's a transformation of your whole life. It's a transformation of your lifestyle. It's a transformation of your thought process. It's a transformation of you looking at your body and going, I need to take care of this. This is the only one I have. And,
sure.
The weight loss is just a benefit of being on the products and being part of the program.